Hello and welcome to this video. On this video, I'm going to be replacing the front headlight glass on my 1995 S320 Mercedes S-Class W140 type chassis. So I got these from the dealer. Our dealer is Mercedes-Benz of Gilbert, and they give me a substantial discount for this restoration project. And the glass is part number A140-820-7966 and A140-820-8066. I've already done the passenger side, and now I'm going to be doing the driver's side, and I'll step you through it here in just a second. The reason I'm replacing these headlights is this one here has actually a hole going through it. I could stick a toothpick or something through there. It must have struck an object. It's got lots of pitting. The other side had lots of pitting and some other cracks and stuff. So to get started, I'm going to open the hood, and then I'm going to take out this side marker, and I'll show you how to do that here in just a second. Okay, to get started here, you're going to take out this panel here to get access behind the light itself and set it aside in a safe place. And to get the side marker out, you have to reach in, and there's a little clip in the very back, and you unclip it, and then you push the whole side marker forward. Easier said than done, but it just simply slides in like forward. So I'll get that out of here, and then I'm going to show you what we're going to do at this next step. All right, the next step after taking out the side marker and setting it aside is we're going to take this bottom painted piece loose, and there's a screw over here towards the radiator, and then there's another screw right here, and we'll take those out, and there's a rubber strip that goes all along the bottom here. So you can't just pull it out, but what you can usually do is pull it forward and flip it down. I'm also probably going to take the entire assembly loose because it's easier to work that way. There's 4 8mm bolts, one here, one up at the top, and one hidden down below. And also there's like a rubber piece that goes around the outside here, and that just simply unlatches quite easily. You just push down on these little latches, and the whole thing will come out very carefully. So I'll get all that taken out, and then we'll come back. I have the headlight loose. The wires are still connected and everything, because all I really need to be able to do is get to all the clips. And there's 7 of them total. One here, supposed to be one here and it's missing. One here, one on each side, and 2 on the bottom. Now 2 of these clips are of this style here. They're a captured clip that they put this piece on, and then they like glued it, or they used some kind of heat to seal this piece on here. It's to prevent tampering. So what I had to do on the other headlight was I had to cut in between the 2 where the clip is and this extra piece, and take a screwdriver and take a little hammer and tap it back out of there. And then when I got done reassembling it, I put it back in the way it was, and I put glue in there and on each side so that it would be a good seal. So to get these clips out, you basically have to take a screwdriver, and you're going to pry them off, and they pop off pretty easy, more or less. So to get into them, well, like this one here is going to pop off no problem at all, I'm pretty sure. So, and you want to be real careful because this plastic is old and brittle and it breaks really easily. So the clip comes out just like that, no problem at all. So I'm going to take all the clips out, including cutting these loose, and then I'm going to pull the old piece of glass off and clean the inside. Now I'll show you that part when I get back. All right, so I've taken off all the clips, and now I'm ready to gently pry the glass part off. It's got just a rubber seal around it, and so it comes off pretty easily. And the new bulb comes, or the new glass lens comes with a new seal. So I have to go clean this out because there's lots of glass pieces. And then I'm going to come back, and I'm going to use some a clean lint-free cloth to go through this and wipe all the bowls out. So I'm going to come back and demonstrate that here in a second. All right, so I've actually wiped this partially out inside. The way I've done it is I put some Chemical Guys Quick Detailer on this polishing cloth. It's a clean one, brand new. And I've gone around on the inside, and then I've buffed it. There's a few spots in here where there was glass that had bumped around, and then some water had gotten in there. So that's about the best I can get it. And I'm going to take the new lens and clean the inside of it, same thing. and put the new gasket in. I'll show you that here in just a second. I have the new gasket, and if you look at it, it's got it's sort of thicker on one side and thinner on the other. So what I did on the other side is I put the thin side towards the inside and went ahead and laid in the gasket. And then I'll put the glass on and clip it with 2 clips. And then I'll show you what we're going to do next. Okay, it's been about a week since I started the headlight lens replacement project, and I ended up going ahead and taking the headlights out. And the reason being is there's these clips. I have 8 on each of my headlights now. They came with 6. I'm not sure if that was where somebody had replaced the lens before and left some clips off or what, but it took me quite a while to get them from Mercedes, and a nice shout out to Mercedes-Benz of Gilbert for getting those parts for me. Anyway, so now I have 8 clips, and the reason I put 8 clips on is originally they were missing the center clip on the bottom and top, and this was all bowed out, warped out, like it wouldn't even seal properly. So in order to seal correctly, I went ahead and put those on. I'll show you what it looks like from the front. Hopefully you can see that. The clips now fit properly, and you can see the new style clips. I got a couple of them here, and they now fit properly. It's really difficult to get these clips to fit. So now I'm ready to go ahead and install the headlights back onto the car, and I'll go ahead and go out there and I'll show you that step by step, because there's a couple little tricks I figured out that whoever had worked on these in the past had failed to do. So I'm hoping that it'll make it easier for you when you watch the rest of the video. Okay, I'm ready to start installing this passenger side light back in with the new reflector, and it's going to go in here something like this. So I have to fit it in, and to do that you're going to have to sort of pull this out. So you pull it out like this and let it sit. It's going to make it much easier to get this whole component in. And then once we get it in, there's some special bolts we have to put into it. So I'll show you those here. This long one goes in the top. This medium-sized black one goes in the side here. And then these 2 right here go on the other side. So I'm going to get them started, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you what tool I need to use to get into the one in here. It's very difficult. So I'm ready to go ahead and tighten up the 4 screws that hold the headlight assembly into place. I found that if you use like this clutch wrench, it has an offset end, and this is 8 millimeters. You can actually get down into the piece down here that you need to tighten up, and you just want to snug it. So I'm going to have to put my finger behind it to hold it in place. And so I'm just going to barely snug it. And then you're going to snug this one. And then the 2 on the side over here. And one thing I wanted to mention is before or while you put the headlight assembly in, you have to leave this piece down below loose, because there's going to be a piece that comes along here and it gets actually fastened underneath here. You'll see that here in a second. But you also have to make sure you put the hinge piece up and over before you put the headlight assembly in. So it's kind of a difficult situation in that you're going to have this kind of hanging out. You're going to get the headlight in, you're going to get this back together, and you're going to make sure this hinge piece on the end actually is up and over. So now what I'm ready to do is go ahead and reinstall this skirt here for the fan. So it kind of pushes in right there. And then I'm going to put in one of these pieces like this. And since these are so old, I'm going to put a little bit of silicone paste on them to get them to go in easily. And hopefully that'll make it much easier to put in. I had a real hard time prying them out. So I'm going to get those put in. Then I'm going to come back and show you how to put on this little trim piece. Okay, so that's in, that's pushed in all the way. That's all nice and good. So again, I'm going to get the trim piece. I did put some silicone grease on the trim piece where it goes into these different slots. Let me grab that piece and I'll come right back. Okay, I'm back. I got the trim piece. And it sort of goes in to these slots, as you can see here. And you have to kind of work it because this is old plastic, not real pliable. Over here, you have to lift that piece. This should go in. If you get it set up right, it should pop into place. Again, it takes a little bit of working with, and you'll hear them actually click into place when I get it set here. Just another minute. Okay, I'm going to click those into place, those top ones. And I've treated this with some Shin-Etsu grease to keep it soft and pliable. Now down here, down below, that's what I was telling you about. When you have these pieces clicked into place, this piece has to go over. There's a rubber piece down in the back here. So let me get that kind of set up and I'll come right back. Okay, once you have this trim piece put into place, you can see it's split into two pieces down here. And one piece goes to the headlight piece here. And then that's when you bring this forward. You put the screw in for this, and then this black piece fits over the outside of it. So it's a nice, neat installation. When I took mine apart, this whole trim piece was outside of here, and it was loose all along here where somebody had taken it apart and not put it back in correctly. So I think mine's pretty much set to go. I just got to put the original screws back in here and over here, and then we'll move over to the other side. Okay, I'm going to install the driver's side now, and again, it goes sort of in here like this. You have to work your way around this piece here and get it. Once you get it settled in, we're going to end up bringing this piece back closed, and it takes a little bit of messing around with like that. Now I should be able to, before I put the screws in, get this hinge part up and over here. Kind of hard to do in 114 degree temperature. So I'll get that set into place, put the screws in, then I'm going to come back. Okay, here on the driver's side, I've basically gotten the 4 bolts snugged up, the one on the top, the 2 on the side, and the one hidden down here next to the radiator. So what I'll do next is I'll go ahead and clip this panel back into place. You have to make sure you feed this wire through the little area and put a little silicone grease on the pop out that goes in there. And I'll get that reinserted. And then what I'm going to do is go ahead and install this trim piece. So I'll be right back. All right, I'm ready to install this trim piece. So again, just like on the other side, there's 2 pieces down here. So when you install it, one piece is going to go in front of this trim piece and the other piece goes behind. So you got to get that done first. So actually I'm going to sort of reverse install it this time. Install it from the bottom facing the top. The other side was warped because they actually didn't have them into these slots on the bottom. So we'll make sure we get all that popped into place properly, which is now done. So then this rubber piece down here is in place. I can pull the flap up above it, and then I'll be able to install the 2 screws here and here. I'll clean this up. We'll come back and take a look at it. Okay, I have the new headlight lenses installed on the old headlights, and everything's back installed the way it should be. It's not a super hard job, but it's not real easy. It's better done with 2 people. I did find a few problems, like it had been reassembled incorrectly in the past. I'm not sure how that happened or why, but now it's been put back together the proper way, and I'm ready to go ahead and start putting in the side marker lights, and I will cover that on a separate video. So other than that, I think we're all done with the headlights. They look beautiful now. So that's all there is. Thank you for watching.